So pleased to be joined by one of the rising stars as well as one of the participants in the Iron Survivor Challenge at NXT Deadline, December 9th in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Trick Williams. Trick, welcome down to the Ring Pro Wrestling Conversations. Thanks for being here.
Hey, reporting to you live, the sexiest and most entertaining live, Trick Williams has finally arrived. I'm happy to be here, Phil.
Nice, nice. So the Iron Survivor match is really one of your big breakout moments on your own. How are you viewing Deadline, kind of like within the context of your career?
Oh, man, this is, like you say, man, this is a groundbreaking moment for me. Man, I'm in there with some dogs. I'm in there, I'm used to being in matches with guys who aren't necessarily my size. But in this case, so far, we have Josh Briggs, who is country strong. We have Dijak, who is 6'6" and acrobatic and can do everything. And then we have Brown Breaker, who's just a specimen. So, I got my work cut out for me.
What makes Trick and Mello work so well on screen and off screen? How quickly did you guys click, and what's your relationship with Carmelo Hayes like?
Oh, man, Carmelo's my dog, man. It's funny. I was just talking about this yesterday. I have a diverse background as far as, I moved around a lot. I play different sports and just weird things like, I like R&B music. I like rap music. I like soul music. I like James Brown, different stuff like that. And it's funny because no matter what I mention, Carmelo Hayes, he knows the same stuff that I know, and, we show up for a show on Tuesday and we don't talk about anything like, hey, man, just wear what you feel like wearing and I'll do the same. And we both would come in with like a similar color, similar style jacket. It's like, man, this is what it was supposed to be, man. Like, like we just clicked, and we've always clicked. And man, it couldn't have been a better pairing, man. That's my dog.
Yeah, and I thought you guys complemented each other so well too. When you started off and you were kind of in his corner, it was such a good combination because even just the chemistry on screen, even when you're talking.
Yes.
You could see it. Did you ever? I mean, we had him on several weeks back, probably several months back at this point. In terms of just cracking him up on screen, there had to be some moments there too, where I recall I believe it was the booty meat on a Friday line, whatever that was. We brought that one up to him. So, like, do you have to be conscious of that when you're on screen? Of like, I can be funny, but I don't want to be breaking too many people like Jimmy Fallon on Saturday Night Live funny,
Right, man. And it's funny. That's the thing. When me and Mello first clicked, he's like, "Hey, man, we're not funny guys. We're not goofy guys." By that, like people laugh with us, they don't laugh at us. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm on the same page. But you gotta understand, like, I gotta be me. I gotta feel free to do my thing out there. And it's funny you mentioned that line because I told him, I said, yeah, I'm gonna say, I'm shaking like booty meat on a Friday night. He said, don't you say it. And I was like, I'm gonna say it. And then I said it, what I mean? People loved it. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's great. NXT is a lot different from when you started to the point now where it's got these huge events as well as the deal next year with the CW network. What is it like to be in NXT right now with so much great growth going on?
Man, this might sound like the cliche answer, but I'm proud of us. Like, man, when 2.0 started, everybody had something to say, and maybe rightfully so. Like a lot of us guys, we were brand new to the business and, we had a long ways to go. But to see the things that we're doing now and the people talking, man, like I'm proud of the whole roster from top to bottom because people don't know how hard we really work for this. I mean, like we really grind. We, like, man, we put in the work for this and I'm glad to see it pay off. So.
And I feel like in NXT, the one big step up for you was getting in the ring with Ilya Dragunov after the incident with Carmelo Hayes in that match. What was it like stepping in the ring with him, and how did you kind of view that moment for yourself?
He's a monster. I mean, like Dragunov, he's the guy that he brings out the best in you, and I'm so grateful for that match. And if you recall the promos, I knew what I was getting myself into. I said, this is going to be my moment when I show the people who Trick Williams really is and how I want to be perceived from this point on. So, man, I'm grateful for that, that whole angle with Dragunov. But as long as he knows, I'm going to see him again. When I take care of business at the Iron Survivor Challenge, we're going to be able to run it back. And then he's going to see a whole new Trick Williams from that last one.
Very nice. What went into the decision for you to leave football, become a pro wrestler? Did you watch wrestling growing up? And, what does that look like when you make that call?
Man, so I definitely watched wrestling growing up. mostly during the Attitude Era. Phil, I ain't gonna lie to you, and I hope this ain't a PG all the way account, but my first, I opened a can of whoop ass at 3 years old. And my mama told me we gonna have to cut back with the wrestling a little bit. So we was die hard. We was all the way into it, especially during the Attitude Era. Growing up, I kind of ventured more towards the football side, and just locked in once we got to college and everything. So I was kind of distant. I would say once John Cena was really on top, that's when I was, heading into college and doing everything like that. Well, I was already in college, but after I got cut from the Eagles, funny story, I had an agent. He was trying to sign me up for the XFL, which at the time was owned by Vince McMahon.
Right.
And I don't know what happened somewhere in the paperwork. It got mixed up, but he like, yeah, we're gonna get you the XFL team. It's no problem. And the next day, I get an email from WWE. They say, if you're interested, we'd like to come see you for a tryout. And to be honest, up to that point, I never thought about becoming a WWE superstar, just because I never knew how to get into it. I never knew anybody who's done it. People from where I'm from don't really do it. Well, at least from what I knew at the time. Knowing what I know now, Shelton Benjamin, he's not he's like an hour down the road, and he actually knows some of my family. But it was foreign to me as how do you become a WWE superstar? So I went to a tryout, and they said, "Oh man, you're athletic, you're charismatic, you can talk, but you never wrestled a day of your life." And that's the truth. I never wrestled. So I took the steps to become a superstar. I moved up to Philly with my uncle, South Philly, and I attended CZW for a few months before COVID broke out.
Mm-hmm.
And then once COVID broke out, I went to Knox Pro, trained with Rikishi and the Fatu's, Black Pearl. And then from there, WWE said, okay, we're going to bring you in for another trial. This is after COVID had already broken out. And then I got signed the second time. So, man, and I'm grateful for every single step that went along with that, because that time of having to pursue it on my own is really what I feel like got my mind right, so I can, fall in love with the business and everything that came with it.
What was that first promo like that you had to perform for them?
In WWE?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'll be honest with you. I still haven't gone back and watched it because, I just remember Twitter going crazy. Oh, man, he talks like a pimp. He talks like a pimp. We can't understand what he's saying. Oh, he's country. He's from the South. And, oh, man, they ripping me hard. But I just stayed true to me, man. And, I just continued to be Trick Williams. And, sooner or later, people got with it. So, funny, I still haven't gone back and watched it because, I probably was a little bit on my edge, a little bit anxious to get out there. But, it's one of the things. I remember I said, "Are you about it? About it?" Yeah, something like that.
What is it like walking into the door of the WWE Performance Center for the first time? Is it like opening the door to Willy Wonka's like factory? Are you overwhelmed, or are you just kind of the athlete that you are? Let's coach me and just let's get going.
Man, walking in the first time, I'm like, okay, this is the real deal. This is where greatness is being made. And I'm a professional. I pursue it like, like a soldier, like a professional athlete. Like, okay, I'm finna put in some work here. So, it's business to me.
I recently recorded a show with Seahawk Cam Hawkins that will be available soon, and on that show, he compared you to Booker T. Do you see those comparisons to Booker in the ring and personality-wise? And is Booker someone whose brain you have the opportunity to pick?
Yeah, well, I hear it all the time, man, and that's a great compliment. Because Booker T, he is great, was great. So I'm honored by that. And yeah, I talk to Booker all the time, man. We check in weekly. I might watch some film with him or just pick his brain, or just talk business. And he's definitely been a guy who's been very helpful for me in my career. And he's adamant on, me doing it myself though. He's like, hey, you don't do it like I did it. I don't want you to come up off my name. Like, go out there and get it yourself. And that's the way I want it. So he's been very helpful, from a mental standpoint. But I definitely want to still be Trick Williams, and not remind people of Booker T, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you guys are similar size, similar athletic, you know, similar movements in the ring, really.
Long legs, the
Yeah.
hair. I get it, man. And I wish I would have came up with that scissor kick first, because man, that's a perfect finisher.
Yeah, some of that stuff he used to do when he was first bringing it out, when he was breaking out of Harlem Heat, was just, it was so cool to watch him break out like that back then, because Harlem Heat was really good, but then when he really came out on his own, it was like, wow, this guy's really got a lot. Like he's unbelievable. Any other mentors you've had, so far in your early career, inside or outside of the WWE PC?
Definitely, I would say Shawn Michaels. Being able to talk with him and seeing what he wants. He's the type of guy, he tell you like it is. And that's what I like, and that's what I need, as a soldier, as an athlete. I like to, tell me what's good and tell me what's not. And Shawn Michaels has definitely been that guy. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to work with him, man. Terry Taylor, he's my in-ring coach. He's, full of knowledge. He helps me out a lot. Norman Smiley, man, PC is full of legends, man. So, if you're there, you're in a great position.
Definitely. What is your how does it differ for someone like you versus someone, say, like Carmelo Hayes? Carmelo Hayes is somebody I've seen on the independent scene before he was in WWE, because he used to work up in my neck of the woods here. So he's got extensive experience outside of WWE. What's kind of the learning curve for somebody who's kind of starting at the level that you were?
I think everybody's journey is different, but I could say, yeah, everybody's journey is different, man. It's kind of tough, but I could definitely see how guys who've been, in the business, 8-10 years, like Melo has, definitely had, step forward, step up on guys like me and some of the athletes who are coming from their different sports backgrounds. But at the same time, like, I feel like there's advantages that come from not growing up inside of wrestling per se. Like we might not view everything the way someone who's been in the business for a long time may view it. We might look at it from a different side, or, from, our realities are just different in a lot of different ways. So that's always pretty cool.
I'm not sure exactly what's going on with your background there, but all of a sudden a bunch of fireworks just went off.
Hey, I figured I said something good, man. The people
Apparently, I'm not sure what went on there, but I'll take it. Did you enjoy creating in those barbershop segments with Carmelo? To me, it was such a unique setting to connect with the audience and also show the fans a taste of culture they may not otherwise get. And I feel like that's really important.
Yeah, man. Like me and Melo working together, it's been butter. For lack of better terms, man, it's been butter. Like, we click on so many different ways, man, from the very jump. Like, it's never been hard. Like, we just flow, we bounce off one another. In ring, he's helped me out a lot, man. Like, I'm very fortunate to work with a guy like Melo, because, he is really good at what he does, and we complement each other very well. So it just works, man. Like, there's nothing we can't do out there.
And what is your creative process like on the mic? Have you always had the gift of gab? And how do you just come up with some of the stuff you do? Do you keep a notebook, or is it just got to be spontaneous?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Phil. Like, I feel like it's in me, man. Like, my family, things that I didn't realize wasn't common growing up is the things that I say now and people love. Like, I say something and people are like, oh man, that's great. I'm like, okay, I guess it's great, but this is how people talk where I'm from. So, that wasn't the line I thought was gonna go crazy. I thought something else was gonna go crazy. And my family, man, the stuff we watch, the entertainment we watch, I feel like I pull from a total different, entertainment platform than probably most other people who are in the business. So I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And it would be so interesting if somebody was just going to try to write for you who's not you, because it's just like, I'm not sure it would necessarily work. It would have to, you'd have to be able to collaborate with what you have, because
probably nobody could do it. Maybe my brothers, they understand the things that, we pull from, but yeah, you can't write for me. I can't write for myself. I just feel it.
But I think that's one of the great things about NXT right now too, is just so many different types of people, so many different types of backgrounds. You get so many different flavors watching that show, and It's just such an enjoyable situation right now. We're going to move on to something we call the 3 count now. It's going to be 3 quick questions and your answers. So the whoop that trick chants, did you expect that, and do you embrace it?
I definitely embrace it, and no, I did not expect it. It comes from a movie, Hustle and Flow. And funny enough, man, like that was a good movie, like way back in the day, probably 2005. But it's more like a chant, like an anthem, like I'm about to beat somebody down. That's what whoop that trick means. So, when they pulled it out, and this is early in NXT 2.0 days. If you go back and watch, people have been saying whoop that trick for a long time. But I think once the entrance music kind of changed, it really amplified even more. So, man, I'm just running with it, man. Whoop that trick. Just the movement.
And then they have the signs there for it too, which was also fun to see. And you hear that chant a lot of different other places too, but it's not for somebody named Trick.
Right.
So even better, for your end of things. The second question was about the Booker T's interludes into that chant.
The ad libs.
What do you think about that?
Oh man, I love it, man. I want to put it on the official copy so people can hear it all the time. Because the crowd can't even hear it because he does that when he's at the announcer table. But yeah, man, I love the ad libs, man. Man, make you want to bounce, make you want to jump. So shout out to Booker for the ad libs.
Yeah, they've been very good. And then Wade Barrett's version of the ad libs was a little bit different. But Booker's, like you said, if it's in your music, at least I don't know. You're probably gonna have a pretty long career. I'm not sure Booker T is gonna call every match that you're in, so you need something else there to fill in the blanks.
Right. And Wade should be sued for that. Shimon.
What else did he throw in there? I heard that one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else he threw in there, but
yeah, he threw some stuff in there, man.
That was pretty good though. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun for people to react to. It's also fun watching Vic Joseph have to wait to say something because Booker's still going. But last question: when you look at the WWE or NXT roster, who would you like to test yourself and step across the ring from at this point?
I think there's one answer, and that's Dragunov. He's the guy with the title, and I've ventured to say, man, Dragunov probably giving me my best match, because he brings the best out of you. But the next time I see him, he's gonna get a brand new Trick Williams. So I'm looking forward to showing him what I can do.
All right, great. And just as we wrap up, just as you're looking ahead to NXT Deadline, the Iron Survivor match, it's a unique style of match. There's some very interesting guys in there. I'm not sure how much you've matched up individually against those guys before. So just how do you kind of give a scouting report on that match, and how do you sort of prepare for what you need to accomplish there?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna start off with Josh Briggs, man, and I like to say 2 words: country strong. He's the type of guy. Probably looks like he's been, raising cattle and, moving haystacks and bulls and everything with his bare hands, chopping down tree trunks. So, that's a strong guy, man. And he's been wrestling for a long time too.
Yeah.
Brown Breaker. What more do I need to say? Second generation specimen monster. Man, he's the best of the best here at NXT, and he's carried our division for a very long time. So nothing but respect to Brian, but he got to get it. And Dijak, man, a goat, man. He's been doing this for a very long time. He's done it with the best of the best. He's 6'6". He's acrobatic. He's strong. Like, man, who wouldn't want to work against Dijak? Because he's guaranteed to pull the best out of you as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and his match with Wesley on the Premium Live event months back was just unbelievable.
With the broken finger, and man, that was crazy.
Yeah. Well, Trick Williams, thank you so much for joining me today on Under the Ring Pro Wrestling Conversations. Again, NXT Deadline, December 9th, Bridgeport, Connecticut. All the best to you. Really enjoying everything that you are doing in NXT.
Hey, I appreciate you, Phil.
Thank you.